Now, before anyone asks any questions, because I'm practicing for my acting class this evening, I'm gonna be working on my southern accent. Hello, Humpapeckle Curie. How are you? Let's take a look at who we want to watch today. I think it might be fun to check out this table. We got Team Luba up against Team Hell, and one of my favorite panelists over here, Simon Device, sitting in the west seat, up against Adam Kaplan, Owen Lean. Bach Mueller is his partner. This should be a good match to check out. Hey there, Babs. Good afternoon to you, miss. How are you doing today? So Adam starts with 1 spade, 3 diamond, overcall. Peachy, I'm glad to hear that. I do appreciate when people are enjoying themselves, especially when we get to watch some bridge. 3 hearts. Wow. That is quite the bid. Just trying to get that lead direct in. After that 3 diamond preempt, West doesn't really believe is their hand. 3 spades from North. That is ambitious, but maybe hoping to hear a 3-no bid from his partner. With those 2 diamond stoppers, could have had the chance to make a 9-trick contract. Instead, gonna have a real chance at making 10 tricks in spades. The suit split in 2-2, and should be able to rough that diamond loser. Pick up the club suit with that 10 of clubs in the pocket. I do believe this is gonna end up being 10 tricks. Declare maybe a little bit scared with this second heart coming through. But nothing better to do than rough with that spade jack and just hope. Keeping in character must be exhausting. I am running an experiment today because I figure, or I reckon, that if I can manage to do this, I hopefully will be able to perform this evening in my class. But maybe I will falter at some point today. Only time will tell. There's that jack of spades. Will I be saying golly gee instead of the usual exclamations? I don't know. I'll just try and feel it out. It is a little bit complicated, this here bridge game, for my character. I never completed my high school education. I started working at the factory when I was 16. So this card game is way beyond my comprehension. But I will end up doing my best to talk through what I'm seeing on the screen for y'all. Trumps are pulled. Now, not much more to do than try this club hook. Gets to rough the diamond, lead a club towards that jack, just in case West happens to hold both the ace and king of clubs. but now is going to have to rely on that club finesse of the 10. And with everything succeeding, that'll be 10 tricks. Could see a small swing on this board. Oh, I see the comment from the chat. Actually, my name is Billy Pitcher. Born and raised in Georgia. Full day match today. Team Luba up by 28 after their first quarter. But 60 boards in total. So lots of bridge to be played. I do believe Team Luba is a four-handed team. I know that Kaplan loves to play on the four-handed teams, really wants to get his money worth for playing every single board. Now we waiting. Got into character fast? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've been working on it. Got my assignment for this week's class on Monday. Did a little bit of backstory writing last night. And now here we are. Got a few more hours until my class starts this evening. I was very fortunate that we were asked to do a Southern accent, because I am not familiar with any of those Northerners, like them New Yorkers or them from Boston. I just cannot manage to make any of the sounds that they make with their mouths. But Southern? Mm-mm. Been a Southern boy my whole life. So, fortunately for me, I've been able to master that craft. Maybe just a little bit. 2 passes go around to west, opens a heart, 3rd seat favorable, just the 10 count. 2 club overcall from north, and east finds the heart raise. Now south has an opportunity to try and make a responsive double, look for a spade fit, but ends up just making a simple 3 club raise. Likely gonna be the end of this year auction. South a passed hand, north just 14. Would need an awful lot of things to go right if they were gonna end up bidding making 3-0. But north does give it a shot and will get lucky this time with that club suit coming home and no 5 diamond tricks for east west. Heart opening lead. Will declare risk ducking this first round of hearts. Or will he just go up with the ace? And then will he try and take a club finesse? That Queen Doubleton onside, he's just going to end up bringing home the club suit, whatever he does. Seems the likely ace of hearts, club to the ace, spade to the king, lead a club. West popping up with that club queen will make Declare's life very easy. So I'm thinking maybe this could represent Quite a nice little swing going the way of Team Luba. I do not think it is easy to find your way into 3 no trump on these north-south cards. 22 combined highs. Oh. North ends up just trying to cash 2 top clubs. Didn't want to risk a club finesse through the opening better. And just claims their 9 tricks. Big hand over here for West, finally. They're hoping to put some points on the board. We'll see a pass from South. West gets to open a heart. And then I wonder if North is going to be a 1 spade overcaller. 4 pretty good spades, including that 9 spot. Favorable. Partner's a passed hand, so not that dangerous to get raised to a large number of spades and get yourself in trouble. Could end up putting some pressure on the East-West auction. Could end up pushing East-West into a making slam. But North elects not to overcall after the strong club. These East-West pairs play a Tarzan-style club. Now, I don't know what Tarzan means, but I think that it sounds pretty wild. 1 diamond from East, a negative response, very similar to a precision-style 1 club. And it seems maybe East-West are gonna end up having a free ride on this here auction. West gonna show hearts, find a pretty big heart fit. I do believe there isn't going to be a spade splinter on this auction. But there is gonna be a diamond splinter. Look at that! 4 diamonds. Big bid from East. But West, not realizing that that ace of diamonds singleton really helps to fill in that diamond suit. People are often afraid of making these splinters with singleton ace. And here's why. Where is the tournament? It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, up in the north. The Trump lead gonna end up putting a little bit of pressure on Declare. And maybe East-West are gonna escape a little bit. That Queen of Diamonds is not gonna drop for 3 rounds. And the 3-1 heart split may mean Declare doesn't actually get to rough out the diamonds, rough the clubs, pull trumps, set up that long diamond. Very possible that 5 hearts could be the limit after this trump lead. Good afternoon, George Brad. You're coming from the south? This concerning to you? Are you making fun of my accent? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm just doing my best. Declare gonna ruff this diamond. Probably with a high trump, just in case. Now we're just gonna see a cross ruff. Spade ruff. Diamond ruff with a high trump. Sally Mae at the Bridge Club sounds exactly like this. Well, ain't she a sweetie? Thank you. Declare really not caring about the beer rules on this one. Ruffs that 7 diamonds, not the jack of diamonds. But it seems that that trump lead actually ended up holding Declarer to just 11 tricks. Declarer does get to ruff a spade, ruff a club, ruff another spade, but the trumps don't split. North gonna take the last 2 tricks with that 9 of hearts and queen of clubs. Maybe, with South having that 9 of clubs, Declarer actually could have ended up making 12 tricks in a heart contract by playing on the club suit. Just ruff 2 diamonds to set up the diamond suit, run that 10 of clubs, play for split honors, and if South had covered that 10 of clubs with the king, Declare could win, and then lead a club towards that jack 8 in hand. Timing might be a little bit complicated, but I do believe that Declare would have enough entries to make that happen. So, possible swing coming through on that board. We'll have to wait and see. West opening 1 diamond, 1 spade, and a 3 spade jump. A little bit light, but if they're playing that strong club system, West's hand probably is being close to a maximum over here after 1 spade. 4x1, 3 aces, good trump suit. So I believe ace gonna bump this one up to 4 spades. 9 high card points, opposite some extras, but no. Ends up passing, and that's gonna be a really good decision on this hand. Club honors not really doing a whole lot for Declarer on this board. 7 high card points wasted for just 1 trick. Spade finesse is going to be working, but the heart finesse does not. So, it seems we're going to have 4 losers off the top. And Declare should be able to manage the rest from there. 3 diamonds, lose that king of hearts, pull the trumps. Gotta be a little bit careful though. If South switches to hearts, Declare better hop up with that ace. Oh, actually, I am noticing that Declare has no hand entry. So declare cannot pull trumps. Has to duck the heart. Now, North gets to cash a couple more diamonds and promote that king of spades into a trump trick. Good play, that queen of diamonds. Let partner know that we get to make 2 discards on the diamond suit. 2 of hearts being a count signal from south. North will know that we cannot be getting a heart rough. Gotta play another round of diamonds. Looks like North is thinking about the signals that he's been given from his partner. 9 hearts, then the 2 hearts, then the 8 of hearts. Does work it out. Plays a diamond, and South gets to over rough. Down 1. Could be a swing that we'll see on this board. 1 diamond, 1 spade, 2 spades may be the auction of choice at the other table. Not playing this strong club system. West only with 13. A classic 2 spade preempt on the North cards. South gonna jump out of his chair once he sees that. Some players may not like opening 2 spades with the side 4-card heart suit, but the disparity between the spades and the hearts will end up pushing a lot of the players into this unusual preempt. After 3 hearts, the overcall. I do not know what South is going to do. Owen tends to be a bit of an operator. He may end up bidding something like 3 spades, I was about to say, pushing the opponents into their 4-heart contract, and then he's gonna continue his operation, bidding 4 spades, trying to get the opponents to end up doubling him rather than taking a push to 5 hearts. But these types of operations can end up backfiring, especially against a well-established partnership with plenty of nuanced conventions. This 4-club call may end up being a fit showing club bid. East happy to hear that, finding his side 5-card club suit is getting filled in, but East already a little bit light given the 3 heart overcall. North, the double, tends to indicate extra offense for their preempt. Many players may not have ended up utilizing that type of bid with only 5 high card points, but North loved his club void. What are my thoughts on the 2 spade opening? I love it. I think the two spade opener is perfect. Otherwise, you're going to have an awfully hard time describing your hand. And now we are about to see the classic imp dilemma. Do we end up defending four spades, expecting that our partner has some winners over there on the east side, and hoping that that's going to be enough to beat this contract? Or do we bid one more? Bidding out at the 5 level, often not the right decision, but with that side club fit, I do believe 5 hearts is a good judgment call. Now, really, East maybe should have tried a 5 club bid to clue partner in on the fact that their side has a double fit. 5 spades from south, exposing the sack a little bit. Vulnerable against knot, we would not end up bidding 3 spades, then 4 spades, then 5 spades. That would be way too much bidding. I was gonna say maybe West would end up passing 5 spades as a force and pass. You wish we could end up closing the chat on Real Bridge? Sometimes I do wish I could end up minimizing all kibitzers. Just watch the bridge in front of us. But this double is not gonna end up reaching the par contract on this hand. Far from it. In fact, it looks like this contract is just making. 1 heart to lose, 1 diamond to lose, and that is it. I think East ended up making a pretty poor decision bidding 5 hearts. 5 clubs would have pushed West in the right direction over this 5 spade bid. And I completely understand West's decision to double, given that they had not heard about a club fit. They only had 3-card heart support. And they had already showed their hand. Really just nothing to the play. Diamond King opening lead, gonna make Declarer's life very easy. Take that ace of diamonds, pull the singular trump, set up the diamond suit. Plus 850. $56-8 in the match so far. I do not know. Now, I do know the Hell team does have a sponsor on it, and that sponsor will be sitting out after this segment, but the damage has been done. 48 amps to overcome in the final couple of sets, and even more getting piled on after this board, I'm sure. $13 count from East gets to open 1 diamond. South gonna overcall spade with that 15 points. Unless, maybe, and the operator over here could try one no trump, and he does. North, looking for a heart fit, silly, silly boy. Your partner has spades over there. Two spades, and three no. Ultimately, a pretty good auction from north-south. Does get to the best contract. Now, are they gonna make it? It looks like there are 9 easy tricks with that king of spades on side. 3 spades, 4 diamonds, 1 heart, and 1 club. West leads a club. Does hit partner suit, but plenty of time for declarer to end up crossing in the diamond suit to take a spade finesse. If he makes it, he'll be grinning like a possum eating a sweet tater. Yeah, me pa always told me that. Whenever I was so happy. I remember when I got my first guitar, I was just strumming on that instrument all night. I do believe Declarer gonna put up the club queen at trick 1. Try and prevent East from ducking the club 8 cheaply. Also prevent East from winning and returning the club suit. Makes it pretty difficult for East to get out of their own hand. Whoo-wee! 74-8. Another big swing coming in. Let me see if I can pop up the scores briefly. 18 imps coming through on that previous board. 6 clubs making 6. Incredible stuff. Another 5 imps coming through on the board before that. And then 6 hearts ended up making because there was no trump lead. Although we did say that I think you could end up making 6 hearts even on a trump lead if you went after the club suit. Plus 18 is pretty good. You're darn tootin' it is. And there we see that Queen of Clubs play. If East didn't take the Ace of Clubs, then Declare would have a second club stopper. But now that East has taken the Ace of Clubs, a club back will run around Dummy's 10, stealing an extra club trick. And just like that, club comes back around the 10, stiff spade king on side. The West Hand is worthless as gum on a boot heel. I do hate it when I'm just walking around and step in something gooey. It's either gonna be that there gum or it's gonna be some dog shit. And neither one of those is very pleasant. I tell you what. Now, everyone where I grew up used to have a dog on their farm. You got to, of course. How else you gonna get them chickens all laying their eggs? We don't have a dog to scare them into doing so every morning. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason that chickens lay eggs. Am I recording this session? I'm hilarious. Well, thank you, hun. I will be posting it on my YouTube channel. And I'm probably going to have to put up a little bit of a disclaimer for all them YouTube watchers, because otherwise they're not going to know what's going on. I do believe we are running into the problem where every table has to finish every board before we can move on. So we have been playing a little bit too quickly. Let's actually pop up one of these slam hands and see exactly what ended up happening. 2 diamonds, a multi-style preempt on the north cards, allowing for a little bit of an easier overcall from east. That 2 hearts, double, a pass or correct double, if I do say so myself. 2 spades, looks like maybe intended as a Q-bid in support of hearts. Double, showing that spade suit that makes South jump out of their chair. 3 clubs, showing the side suit. And look at that there. West found support for their ace-king 6 the clubs. After 4 spade preempt, ends up just trotting out the good old key card Blackwood. 4 no trump. 5 clubs showing 1, and West takes the plunge. Not able to ask for that trump queen, but gets very lucky. Partner has at least 4 clubs, expects the suit to split 2-1 at worst. Partner turns up with 5 clubs over there. So 6 clubs, no way to touch that contract. Excellent result at the other table for Team Luba. Great auction, and it's shown off a little bit of the weakness of that multi-convention, because had South been able to make a much higher preempt immediately, East-West may not have found their club fit, like they didn't at this table. Billy does not like waiting around. Billy is an action taker. I really hope that we see the next board soon. Let's have a gander over here at this 6 hearts auction. 1 heart, 3 clubs. Hoo-wee! We've been playing that there Bergen raise, ain't we? I do not believe in this here Bergen raise. Or maybe we are playing some variation of a Jacoby style a Jacoby style 2-0. where instead of the 2 no bid, we are playing in 3 clubs. 3 spades, shortness, 3 no, maybe a non-serious slam try, 4 hearts, does not feel like the right decision on the West cards, if that is a sign-off, but East pushes on, 4 spades, keycard Blackwood, and West bidding 5 clubs, showing 3 keycards. East signs off in 6 hearts. Definitely some sort of artificial auction going on here for East-West. It seems that both tables are waiting for the next round at this point. I suppose we could end up looking at the scoreboard in the meantime. And are there any surprises on this scoreboard? Rosenthal, one of them teams that had a bit of a roster change. Wilankin playing with Schultz this time around, sitting a little bit behind Goldberg. Both teams have sponsors in this event. Shori, a little bit behind Gupta, team with a bunch of Europeans over there. Currently watching the matchup between Hale, the 9 seed, and Luba, the 24 seed. Team Madala, the 10 seed over there, with Adam Grosak, recent gold medalist from the Bermuda Bowl. Currently behind, up against Moyles. And Rippy, currently ahead of Team Rubenstein. Now, I've voted for Team Rubenstein to win the bracket, because I want to be a good supporter of my teammates. But many of the top seeds, even Team Nickel, with a little bit of a roster change, ending up well on top of their opponents after the first segment. Wolfson struggling a little bit up against Team Ash, but still ahead by 17 points. George Brad asked, does the sponsor choose the partnerships, or is it usually they pick up a pro and then ask them who they want? It can happen either way. Usually, the sponsor ends up building their entire team out of players that they have met and been introduced to in tournament play. But I have personally, well, not Billy personally, but Rob personally has been asked to build entire teams before as the sponsor's partner. But I do believe that usually what ends up happening is the sponsor picks out a partner that they want to play with in some competition and then ends up getting 2 other pairs that they want to add to their team at some sort of reasonable price. And among those who are currently not already committed to playing in a tournament at that time, and sticking the whole entire 6-person team together. Or 5-person team, depending on what everyone wants to do and how many players the sponsor ends up wanting to hire for an event. We get to see another one of them Tarzan clubs over here being opened from West. 20 high card points. Good 6-card spade suit. 1 diamond. Just a waiting bid. And South comes in with 1 heart. Looking for that heart lead. West passes. Forcing themselves into a relay sequence. Hooey! I did not believe that was going to be the bid from West. But it looks like they have been able to take advantage once again of the cheap interference from the north-south pair. Are they going to end up doing a little bit better on this hand, though? That is the question. Because on a heart lead, I do not believe 6 spades will make. I am spending a little time just doing some analysis, but I do think that is correct on this hand. Eight to 10 balanced from East. Now West should know they have spade fit. So West could probably end up continuing a relay at this point. 2 hearts, the next step. But will West be able to find out the information he needs to stay out of the bad slam? Very likely to be a lot of alerts that are getting missed here from our VuGraph operator, bidding every single contract from 2 diamonds all the way up through 3 spades. East gonna be showing his shape through this relay sequence. 2 spades may have showed 4 triple 3. 3 clubs may have ended up showing the 4-card heart suit. And now there may be some sort of spiral scan going on, asking about honors in the East hand. If West ends up learning about that Diamond King and Spade Ace, but finds out that East does not have the Queen of Clubs or Queen of Diamonds, then West should be able to find the sign-off in 4 spades or 5 spades. And with the heart finesse working, there's no trouble in that contract. Well, West does find the sign-off bid in 4 spades. And I think this might be a swing going back the way of Team Hale, finally. Because we've already seen the other table, the East-West partnership, end up bidding a couple of slams, even some that are quite thin, like that 6 heart contract that may have gone down on a trump lead, like we saw at this table. So I would expect East-West in the other room to end up finding their way all the way up into 6 spades. And with that diamond finesse not working, I think it is likely that Declarer will end up going down in that contract. Just kidding. I was incorrect in my prediction. The other table ends up in 4 spades. Good judgment call to stop. 4 spades ended up making 12 tricks over there. So maybe they should have ended up playing in 6. I imagine with South not getting that heart lead direct in, North may have led the club king at trick 1 and then declares other club loser goes away, given that Doubleton 10 sitting in South's seat. East, still thinking over this 4 spade bid. I wonder if it's not a sign-off. I know a lot of these relayers like to utilize some sort of 4-level bid to suggest a start of a sign-off sequence, and all other bids, even if they look like they might be an offer to play or a choice to play, are utilized for forward-going slam tries. And I see in the chat, our ViewGraph operator is here, VG, with the highlighted text. Although the blue on blue background hurts the eyes a little bit to look at. East ends up passing the 4 spade sign off. But we are currently sitting at 66 imps in favor of North-South. No, and with South being on lead against the spade contract, there was no way for North to find the fatal King of Clubs lead against a slam. One of the possible downsides of these relay systems is that you don't really know who's going to end up declaring the contract at the end of the day. It's about a 50-50 whether the strong hand ends up declaring or not. Declare thinking their best about whether or not it's okay to play this Jack of Clubs at trick 1. And with the count now rectified, given that that heart finesse is going to be a working one after the 1 heart overcall, Declarer does get to play this hand as a show-up squeeze against North. So, Declarer will know that the diamond finesse is offside in the in position. This will be one more imp going the way of Team Luba. Well, this is going to mark about the halfway point of the segment. Declare not that familiar with squeezes. Ends up roughing the heart suit to try and set up that 9. But now has to discard that 9 of hearts. Cashes the spade 7 rather than the club ace. Not that it matters, given that Declare should have been aware of the 5-2 club split after the opening lead. Well, this is quite the hand. The other table ended up sacrificing in 5 clubs on the north-south cards. But it looks like 6 hearts is available to east-west if they pick up that diamond suit. Even despite the very poor trump split. So, I think there's a real chance that we might end up seeing a swing on this one. Howdy, Doc. Welcome to the stream. I like the 3 club call from South. With partner being a passed hand, we now want to preempt this auction as much as we can. I think even a 4 club preempt from the South hand might have had something going for it. If South wanted to try and find a spade fit, then a 2 club overcall would have been preferable. And I think either is fine. One of the downsides of being an operator is what we see here. Now, this is the second time that East has failed to show their partner their side suit in these game forcing auctions. And I'm beginning to get a little bit concerned because East, again, might think that this auction could get competitive with all these club preamps floating about. If the opponent's saving 5 clubs, is East just going to be bidding 5 hearts themselves? Or does East want to give their partner a little bit of an opportunity to get involved in this auction? Fortunately, my other point that I was going to make is shining through. When you're an operator and you make one of these preamps, your partner is no longer able to take the push to 5 clubs on a hand like this. And so north-south end up not putting as much pressure on the east-west as they did at the other table. This'll finally be some much needed imps going the way of Team Hell on this board. And we will see if Declarer is able to pick up the diamond suit. Hopefully Rob never has to play a Klingon in character. Is that some Star Trek thing? I have never seen Star Trek. Oh, them's the boys with the funky forehead. I don't know what they sound like. Also, in case you can't tell, I didn't put a lot of effort in, but I tried to do my hair up a little bit, and it really did not work. So I'm gonna have another go at it after this stream is over. You kind of like my hair that way, including all the little tips that are not really smoothed in over here. Yeah, especially those. You're so sweet. Well, Declarer is on their way to making 11 or 12 tricks on this board. Gonna end up being the same 11 imps either way. At some point, when you're, ooh, 9 imps. Because they were to plus 100 at the other table. Still the same 9 imps if Declare had failed to find that second overtrick. Looks like we are finally getting caught up to the other tables now. 4 spades, Megan, by north-south in the other room. That is not possible. East on lead against a spade contract would end up leading a high heart. And guess what West is going to do? West is going to encourage after that high heart lead. And even if West doesn't encourage after the high heart lead, East will have one more opportunity, one after winning the spade ace, to continue the heart suit to give their partner a ruff. Now, if they don't do that, Declare will be able to ruff the club suit good, pull trumps, use the diamond entry to run the clubs, discarding heart losers. 3 diamonds, a preempt from West. Normally, over a takeout double, these jumps would show good hand, but when South has redoubled, now the jump's not useful to show good hand, because everyone at the table can't have a 12 count. So 3 diamonds is a preempt. North-South do get 4 spades, but this is just going to go down a trick. So another swing ends up going the way of Team Hale. And then we'll have 5 boards to play for the rest of this segment. What is he on about? The other room had North show 5 spades and 4 hearts, so East didn't find the killing heart plays. But I'll tell you what, if North shows 4 hearts in this auction, and East leads the heart ace, we will know that North is gonna have 4 hearts and our partner can get a rough. Maybe what he meant is that East ended up leading a low spade. But that's okay, because even on a low spade lead, once East gets in with the spade ace, East can find a diamond switch. Oh, it is not okay. It's not okay. It is not okay to lead a low spade. That would end up with Declare making the contract after pulling a second round of trumps. Ten imps going the way of Team Hell. It's almost like they're getting back into the match. Still 35 boards to go to be scored. Another game contract. This one looks like with that spade finesse not working, East-West are going to end up getting 3 aces and the spade queen. Not too much effort required by East-West to make that happen. A cowardly pass from East over here with that 11 count. Quite a surprising system development, if I do say so myself, because I think playing these strong club systems, it's really important to be opening all your 11s to make sure that you can try and steal some of these contracts from the opponents. In this case, defending is the winner. But if we swap the North-South spade suit or the spade king in the North hand, then North-South will end up making 4 hearts. And we want to try and prevent them from doing that as much as we can. Three clubs alerted here by North. Probably going to be their limit raise or better in hearts. And South rejects the limit raise. Doesn't like that queen double 10 of diamonds. Doesn't like the 5-4-2-2 or only 12 high card points. Gonna be a little bit sad after seeing this dummy, given that game is on a finesse, but gonna be pretty happy when that finesse loses. Ends up picking up 6 imps instead of losing 10. The chat over here on the side still has not figured out that they're playing 2 no trump is a balanced game force. It is a relatively popular convention by Americans, especially on the younger side. So that's why they're utilizing 3 clubs as the limit raise or better, with 4 trumps over a major suit opener. And now we are waiting again. 6 amps back the way of Team Luba for a little bit of good fortune on this board. We see that little bit of a comeback. 19 amps going in the direction of Team Hell, but still overall, Team Luba getting the better of this set, thanks to those 2 slams that they bid earlier on. Has anyone been watching the ACBL stream? What did they do during these downtimes between boards as we are waiting for the other tables to finish? Do they end up telling some stories about the tournament? Do they end up checking out the scoreboards at the other table? Look through some of the other table's auctions? What is their policy, if anyone knows? I'm curious. I do believe we have looked at most of the interesting auctions from the other table, but not this one. 1 heart, 2 club overcall from Hugenkamp in the other room, 3 diamonds. I wonder what 3 diamonds is. Maybe a mixed raise of hearts, 4 clubs. I like the 4 club bid from North, trying to let your partner make the last decision over a 4 heart contract. Because North has some defense, and the 2 club overcall often also has some defense. 4 diamonds from East, an excellent bid, showing that second suit. 5 clubs from South, and West, with a lot of defensive assets, those queens and jacks, ends up doubling. But maybe West should have ended up either making a force and pass, because the 4 diamond bid may well have created a force, or West could have just pushed on with the 5th trump that hasn't been shown yet, given the mixed raise, as well as some fitting diamond honors in their partner's suit. I definitely understand the decision to double, though. Real tough to make a contract at the 5 level when you don't have any aces in your hand. Need your partner to have quite a few of them. But ends up being a little bit costly. We are on to the next board. 16 count from South opens a no trump. North ends up transferring to diamonds through 2 no. I disagree. North ends up not transferring to diamonds. They bid puppet. Puppet Stamen, looking for a spade fit. And then plopping that contract down in 3 no trump. I do not like this Jack of Clubs play at trick 1. East's decision about what to switch to is going to be based on constructing the South hand, and showing off this Jack of Clubs just shows off a little bit more of our honors. But East ends up returning a club anyway. This duck of the club ace is going to end up being a little bit costly. Declarer will now end up cashing the ace king of spades, and the jack of spades is going to set up, and declares king of clubs is going to go away. Cashes the hard ace as well before running the diamond suit, playing the hand basically as some sort of squeeze. So this will be 12 tricks going the way of Declarer. Not gonna be too many imps swung on this board, I do not believe. 6 diamonds could end up making, but I do not think most declarers are going to end up rejecting a spade finesse in that contract, even if they end up guessing the club suit. Declarer could end up trying the spade finesse at this point. I am surprised that Declarer took that spade finesse at the end of play. West certainly would have ended up discarding the Heart Queen if they had that card. But now we end up waiting for the other table to finish. We'll have 3 more boards to play in this segment. I do believe that the last time I ended up covering a tournament on Real Bridge, I had pulled up 2 windows to have both tables that we could look at. Do people prefer that sort of mode of kibitzing? Or are people okay with just looking at the one table? Doesn't matter to you, George Brad? Thank you for letting me know. It would be one way to cover up the chat so that we don't have to look at this, all these comments. I can pull up the scoreboard again. How did the auction get to 4 hearts in the other room? South opened a heart. East once again being a coward, not opening that 11 count in first seat, but playing with a very aggressive partner. Maybe it's prudent to not be opening these poor 11s with a bunch of jacks and no major suits. Because if you do, your partner might end up sticking you in some pretty poor games. And you don't want that to happen. 1 heart, 4 hearts by North. Not the type of bid that you want to be making. Game forcing the North hand, not such a terrible choice if you're playing like a standard Jacoby structure. But normally that 4 heart bid would just end up being preemptive. Maybe North-South are playing a strong club, though. I can't say. In which case, opposite the precision style strong club system, when South opens a limited 1 heart, 4 hearts could be up to some sort of game force in hand with 3 trumps or even maybe 4 trumps that looks like this. Still waiting on the comparison with the other table. It looks like we are being told the other table ended up relaying into a 6 diamond contract in the North on this hand, which means The other table's probably going to end up going down 1 in that contract when they do not pick up the spade queen offside, even if they guess the club suit. So that's going to be another 10 imps going the way of Team Luba. They'll be ahead by 64 with 3 boards left to play in the segment. I have enjoyed doing this commentary today in character. I think I might end up trying to do this a little bit more often. It has helped me get a bit more practice in, which is something that I've been trying to do as much as possible for my acting classes. And apparently the stream has enjoyed it a little bit, but maybe not too much a bit. Not every day, not every stream, but certainly on the days where I have some interest in character that I do want to work on a little bit, this has been very helpful. And maybe I'm gonna have to learn one of them New York accents one of these days. On to board 28, West gets to open. Do they have some sort of preemptive bid that they can make on the West hand, like a Polish style 2 spades, showing spades and a minor, 5-5? If so, that would be perfect with this West hand. And look at that, 2 spades, no alert, but I believe that's going to be one of these 5-5 type bids. Will South end up balancing? Scary to do so at these colors, and South does end up passing. Would have settled into a 4-heart contract if South did balance, which looks like on the surface is just going to end up going down a track. 1 spade to lose, 2 clubs, and a diamond to lose. And in the meantime, this 2 spade contract, there's going to be 2 spade losers, 2 diamond losers, a club loser. Declare might end up getting in a little bit of trouble, though. If they pull trumps, they might get tapped out with all these heart plays. If they don't pull trumps, North-South might end up getting a few too many roughs. Declare is going after the diamond suit. Guesses incorrectly. And now South just needs to work out which heart to play. I have said that this South player is a bit of a character sometimes. Decides to try and pick up 2 club tricks quickly, hoping his partner has the club ace for that preempt on his left, leading the low club to the ace and hoping to get 1 back to score his queen. But that ends up picking up the club suit for Declarer. Now, because Declare ended up misguessing the diamond suit, they are going to end up playing a third round of diamonds, but now North can ruff and give his partner a club ruff. But I guess with South not forcing out Declarer in the heart suit, Declarer now can just play for the spades to split. And if they don't, we'll end up going down quite a few tricks, but we're non-vulnerable. So a bit of a decision to make for Declarer there. Could have ended up, rather than ducking a spade, could have ended up playing some clubs through South. Probably a little bit of safer play at the end here. Lead a club. If South ruffs, we can over ruff and then play our diamond winners. And otherwise, if South doesn't ruff, we can just pitch diamonds on the good clubs and continue to play the hand that way. A little bit safer than playing a second round of trumps. But we do end up seeing a little bit of swing. Declare ends up making 6 diamonds on board 27. Let's take a look at what happened over here. South opened club, 16 high card points, so I guess they are playing some sort of strong club system over there, although balance 16 a little bit strange to include in your strong club. 2 hearts, a double asking for a heart lead. And this may end up costing East-West. Can't really blame East for making that lead direct and double with King, Queen, 10, 5th. But now Declare knows that Jack of Hearts is going to be a threat card against East. So Declare may well have ended up playing this hand as a bit of a show-up squeeze, picking off that Queen Doubleton of Spades. And Declare got that club queen lead, not having to guess the club suit at all. Club to the ace, club return. Declare ends up leading heart. East splits their king, ruffs a heart, plays a diamond over, ruffs another heart. Just kidding. Cashes the diamond queen, now ruffs a heart, isolating the hearts in East's hand, and now it's a very simple matter of a show-up squeeze. 10 of clubs cashes, ace of diamonds cashes, 7 diamonds, the perfect squeeze card being the beer. East throws their spade because they have to keep that heart queen as a guard. Now Declare gets to pitch the jack of hearts, cash the spade king, and reject the spade finesse. Very well played after that bit of a debacle on opening lead from East. Two boards to play in this segment. We are hearing from our Al Hollander that the other table's auction ended up pushing East-West into 5 clubs. And I do believe that that contract has very little play. Probably going to end up down 2 if I had to guess. So that's going to be a giant swing going the way of Team Hell on this one for going plus at this table East-West and going plus at the other table North-South. If I had to guess, it's going to be 9 imps for 300 and the 110 that was picked up at this table. And it's almost starting to look like they're on their way to a comeback. And with the sponsor sitting out for the final two segments, they may well have a chance. I don't know if this match is going to be broadcast in the evening, same as it has been broadcast for these first two quarters. But we got two more boards to go in this room. If there was a convenient way to flip over to the other table, I would probably end up doing that during this downtime. I suppose we can take a look. Just head over to the other room and see exactly how bad this contract ends up being. North-South 2 tricks in. Declare gonna be able to run the diamond suit at this point. Looks like that got set up for them to discard their heart losers. But they're still gonna lose a spade. So it ends up just being a 5 imp swing, not 9 as I was predicting. Declare trying their best to get one of the defenders to throw all their hearts. But 5 imps going the way of Team Hell over there. Let's head back and see what's going on in this room. Actually, let's head over to the other match where we can check out what the score is, as this table is just getting started with board 28. What the fuck is this? Okay. I don't know if that's even legal. I'm pretty sure the ACBL is frowning upon players who open with fewer than 8 high card points. But no one's gonna tattletale on Edgeton, will they? He's such a sweet boy. Looking like maybe Team Shori ends up picking up a small swing here if they do defend 4 hearts, and they will, with 3 hearts being the limit at the other table. Let's head back into our feature match where board 29 doesn't look like that much excitement is going to be happening on this one. Declare opens a strong no trump, and East with 6 high card points ends up passing. Jack of Hearts, Rusino opening lead, promising the queen. South will be able to duck this trick. Encouraging. And Declare should be able to get up to 7 tricks. 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 club, and 4 spades. Just needs to take that diamond finesse. If Declare isn't careful and works on the club suit instead, then South is going to get too many clubs to go with their defenses. 4 hearts and 1 diamond. But West ends up ducking the opening heart lead. Quite the surprise. You would expect North to continue a heart, which they do, But if North had switched to diamonds, I think the defense was going to come out on top. Looking like 3 diamond tricks, 2 heart tricks, and 2 club tricks that North-South could set up. And in the meantime, declare not able to set up their heart king anymore. So this has felt like a little bit of sloppy play from West, although I do believe that it's pretty difficult for North not to just continue a second heart at trick 2. Now declare has blocked the spade suit. What's their plan? If they lead a diamond right now, and North ends up switching to clubs, isn't Declare in a little bit of trouble? Why do I feel like... But of course, North ends up ducking from the ace-queen of diamonds. This has not been the most beautifully played set, I think. But the players are fighting their hearts out. And when it looked like it was a bit of a blowout in favor of Team Luba, the match has gotten a lot closer. 38 imps is the margin. That's something that can easily be overcome. We've seen a number of even segments of 15 boards that result in a 60 imp swing go in the direction of one of these teams. Other table did end up making a no trump as well. Let's see how they played it in the other room. Jack of hearts open and lead. West did end up winning the king, not wanting to give North any ideas. Ends up playing back a heart. I think that could have gone pretty wrong if North had won and switched to clubs. But it's not so clear that the defense could find this play. South now ends up switching to clubs and then plays back a heart. North able to run the heart suit. But South having the long club means that Declare does get to lead a diamond up to the king, taking the last trick. So both Declares end up risking their contract, not necessarily for over tricks, just trying to throw a little bit of a wrench into the defender's plays. And I feel like that was a pretty big blunder by both declarers. You don't really want to take that diamond finesse and have it lose, and then have North-South take the next 4 heart tricks and 4 diamond tricks to beat you 2 tricks. But it's gotta be better than trying to give them an opportunity to defeat you when the ace of diamonds is just on side. If North happened to have that 3rd club, there was nothing Declare could have done after those club switches. Declare we've just ended up making 6 tricks after the defense took 2 clubs, 4 hearts, and the diamond ace. Billy is getting a little bit mad about the way that one no-trump contract was played at both tables. But fortunately, we don't have to look at it anymore. We're on to board 30, last board of the segment. East gonna end up passing in first seat. South will open a club. West, I suspect, will overcall diamond. We know what South would do with the West cards if they had the chance to overcall. It would be 1 no trump. West ends up overcalling a spade. I do not like that bid with the West hand. If we overcall diamond and find some values in partner's hand, we have enough to bid 2 spades ourselves. And if we don't find values in partner's hand, then don't we want to look for our longest fit? I would think so. Two diamonds showing hearts. These transfer responses after the opponent's overcall are very, very popular. The 1 spade overcall does end up picking off north-south spade suit. So it looks to me like north-south are going to end up playing in 2 hearts at this point. And there's going to be 6 defensive tricks. 3 spades, a spade ruff, the ace of diamonds, but there's no trump promotion coming. The spade ruff is going to happen with East natural trump trick. West ends up trying the queen of spades just to let their partner know that they have 3 cash and spade winners. But actually, now that I'm looking at this, East can end up pitching diamonds on the ace-king of spades. And oddly enough, that queen of spades opening lead is going to allow East to do just that. Of course, West could have led their standard honor, the ace of spades, and then continued with the queen to show ace-king-queen, giving East the opportunity to once again discard their 2 losers in the diamond suit. And fortunately, I don't think that East is going to have much trouble finding the ruff of the 4th round of spades, because West, even though they should have 5 spades, the 9 of hearts is going to be a winner, with North having the king, queen, jack. So spade ruff, but East ends up pitching clubs. What is East doing? Why are they pitching those clubs? Are they blind? It sure seems like it. It's only the 3rd day of this event. Why is everyone so fucking tired? Little bit of an error from East. Let's all just settle our little butts down. Diamond to the queen. but there is no more Trump promotion coming. So this will just end up being down 1. And I think we can end up checking out what's going on at the other table. Declare can win this trick, rough club to get over to North's hand and pull the last trump. At the other room, North ending up in 2 hearts doubled. But Declare, it does look like Declare ended up going down 2. 6 more imps going the way of Team Luba. And that means on that scorecard, the segment feels like Luba picked up a couple. Billy ain't that good at maths.